just met her like 5 minutes ago before you walked in the room there. Emmy Meli. Congrats on, God, all this stuff is happening so fast, right?
Incredibly fast. Faster than I would have ever expected. I wasn't expecting to hit things like this until I was like 25, but here I am.
Yeah, she's got this track, I Am Woman, which we'll play later on in the countdown. We're chatting music, we're chatting life. This last year for me, 2020 and 21, and here we are in 22. This last couple of years, to me, is the way I describe it is kind of like living in a sci-fi movie. Just such a bizarre. How is your overall pandemic experience?
There was a moment there where it genuinely felt pretty apocalyptic, especially living out here. It did, especially living out here in LA and being so used to the natural hubbub of Hollywood and all the characters on Hollywood Boulevard. For that first month or so there were no cars, no people. It was just dead silent, and everybody was still adjusting to the fact that the whole world was sick, and it just felt so scary and weird. But at the same time, I don't think I would have gotten to the point that I'm at today if I hadn't have had that time by myself in my bedroom to just really reconnect and figure out who I want to be as a person and who I want to be as an artist. And spending that time with myself gave me the opportunity to get here, to keep writing these songs, to keep connecting with my message. And here we are. So I think a lot of artists probably feel that way about the pandemic. It was almost good for me to spend that time.
It made you slow down.
It made me slow down, which the world needed. Everybody needed it.
That's one of the silver linings in this. And as we tape this countdown, we are sitting in Burbank, California, and I'll say the same. The traffic. I have never not seen no traffic.
Oh my gosh! I was hiking up to the observatory and I could actually see the buildings in downtown. I was like, "Where's the smog?"
It's crazy. I assume there's an album or a body of music or an EP on the way, and if so, what can you say about it? Or if not, maybe is it top secret?
It's not top secret. There is an album. Well, not an album. It's a project, an EP that's coming out April, May, springtime, and I'm just gonna say that everyone's gonna be very pleasantly surprised, and I'm really excited to get to introduce myself to the world, which is a little hint towards the title of the project.
Introducing yourself to the world. So I'm going to guess it's self-titled?
Yes, self-titled.
That's all. Okay, that I feel like we just got a reveal there, something exclusive. I was told that you were working 2 jobs just a little while back, late 21 or whenever it was. I don't know the dates. And then I Am Woman hits. And after that, you realize, man, I need to devote all my time. I'm just putting words in your mouth here, but you basically quit those 2 jobs to really get super serious with this.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a hustle lifestyle for a hot second there. You wake up, you work 9 to 5, you go to rehearsal, then you go to the studio, you squeeze in any time left in the day that you have, and then the one day off from your jobs of the week, it doesn't even become a day off. It just becomes getting everything done that you couldn't get done during the week. It was
Lord.
Like a cyclical. And then I was playing shows around LA too, so it was get up, go to work 9 to 5, rush home, do hair and makeup, get ready for the show, do the show, and then not even party after the show, just go straight home after the show so that I could get sleep to go to work the next morning. So
that just sounds exhausting.
Oh my gosh, it was incredibly exhausting, but here I am right now. I don't think I would have gotten to say the things that I have to say and to write the things that I've written if I hadn't have experienced that,
What about those coworkers where you, the places that you worked at? Are they like, wow, what the heck? How, congrats, or I don't know what emotion, but they must be kind of pumped for you, or maybe, I don't know, jealous, or who knows?
They're all super happy for me, actually. They've been so supportive, which is so awesome. And I think they kind of hoped that it would come for me eventually, because I was totally the coworker that would be in the corner at work scribbling down random stuff in my server notebook and writing lyrics on pieces of paper and wasting the server notebooks writing stuff at work and not doing my job. I did it to the best of my ability, but I couldn't help it.
That's pretty cool. Do those coworkers get free tickets to your shows from here on out?
Of course they do, and they're all my friends too. So it was really cool. They all texted me to congratulate me. It was awesome. Even my boss, he couldn't even be mad. He was just like, "Good luck."
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Literally, we keep saying things like it blew up overnight, but this one really, I love this story, and I haven't heard the whole story. It literally blew up overnight. You posted it on you said a Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you
Tuesday
wake up
night.
Wednesday and everything it was crazy, right?
Yeah. So Tuesday I posted it, and then I went to this little jazz club with my friends, watched some live music. It's kind of like what I like to do when I do have some free time. And went home, went to sleep, didn't wake up until like a little later in the morning the next day. And I woke up to my friends calling and texting me saying, Emily, look at your TikTok. Wake up, look at your TikTok. And I went on there and I was like, I guess I have to finish the song now.
Oh my God. So
Yeah.
so when it blew up, it was just a snippet, basically.
It was just a hook. It was literally just me taking a few mantras that I had been repeating to myself for a little while there and putting it to music for fun one day.
Wow. And when you wake up to news like that, that's just straight. I mean, that's just, I don't know, that's a dream come true, basically, right?
Quite literally a dream come true. It's been
Wow.
surreal. This whole last month of my life feels like I just quantum leaped into some other reality. I don't know. It's crazy. Like, I've been dreaming of this and manifesting this and working towards this my whole life. And then for it to just happen overnight was, whoa. It was definitely a surreal moment.
It's like magic. It really is,
Yeah.
You going on tour is on the top of your bucket list.
Yes.
So with this whole I Am Woman, just killing, and with album on the way, I assume tour talks, you're having talks now, or things are sort of kind of moving that way?
Oh, yes. We're definitely having talks. We're shooting for summertime. And I am really, really, really hoping that I get to travel a lot because I haven't really traveled ever, and getting to see people's faces in the crowd and perform for them and have that energy is just a totally, totally different experience than just you in a booth. And I've performed my whole life, so I have a real passion for it, and I just can't wait until I get to go to all these different cities and meet all these new people who like my music.
Is the excitement of watching a crowd react to your music, that's just something you can't duplicate in any other.
You can't.
It's just it's such a rush, I would think, right?
Such a rush. Performing is probably, I can't speak for everybody else, but it's my favorite thing to do as an artist, to sing to these people, like to their faces, and watch them react and get to have that energy with you and sit in it. It's incredible.
And then here's one thing that gets me too, and I don't write music, but to write something down like in your basement or in your bedroom, and then to have them recite it back to you. And then when you get to like another country and they speak a completely different language, but they still recite it back. I mean, my brain is just after something like that,
When I perform I Am Woman, I don't know how I'm going to do it without crying, because I quite literally wrote the rest of the song at work. So to hear things that I wrote in my server book repeated back to me with these mass amounts of people, hopefully at my shows, is going to be, there's probably going to be some waterworks for sure.
Man, let them flow.
Yeah.
For real. This is when you know a song is connecting with people. I'm told people have come up to you and shown you their I Am Woman tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck, man?
Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, the amount of times I've cried over the last month, it was like every tear that I had been saving up through the whole year that I was too busy working to pay attention to just finally came out. Seeing people tattoo, first of all, not even my lyrics, but my handwriting.
Whoa.
My handwriting on their bodies forever. I don't even know how to begin to describe that.
And they are a complete stranger.
Complete stranger. It's just my words apparently moved them so much that they wanted to carry it with them forever, not just in their memories or in their heart, but like actually on their body to remind themselves. And it's, I don't know how to describe it.
That's it's mind-bending and humbling, I would think,
Oh, it's beyond what you can even put into words. It just, my whole life I always said I wanted to make music to change the world and to help people and to heal people, because that's what music does for me. And it's just so very fitting that the song that changed my life is the song that's changing everybody else's life.
Wow, that's a pretty big statement there, for sure.
Yeah, I'm really grateful.
We've talked about this track, said a bunch of things about what am I missing? What do people need to know about this track? Because it's changed your life. I love what you said a second ago. The song that's changing their lives is changing your life. I mean, God, this song is something,
Mm-hmm. I hope that people can take with them that the song is more than just some words that I scribbled on a piece of paper. It really comes from the bottom of my heart, and I think that that's why it is resonating with people so deeply, because it it hits them in a place that maybe they needed to look at and they needed to feel and they needed to be reminded of. Like all these videos that these women are posting, they're inspiring to not only everybody, but also me, because I'm a normal person. You know, I may have written this track, but I still have insecurities and I still feel bad about myself sometimes. And these videos that these women have been making remind me of the things that the song talks about. So again, it's not just a song. I don't know. It's a movement. And I think that that's why it's hit such astronomical heights, you know, because it's special. And I think that it was definitely what a lot of women needed to hear right now.
And when you said you keep saying you wrote it in your server book,
mm-hmm.
what is that? I should have asked earlier. What is a server, like working at a restaurant?
Yeah, just the little notepads that you write, that you take orders down on.
So when they think you're taking an order for food or whatever, that pad is what you wrote this song. Oh my God.
I know. I mean, in your free time, you're supposed to clean and you know, make sure everything's situated and help the restaurant keep moving.
Do you still have the pad with it on there?
I actually do still have my server book. I should see if I have any of the actual papers.
You have to keep those original.
I usually do. Maybe they might be in my car.
Oh my! Please tell me you got. All right. I'm told you at one point, maybe you still get these. You get weird prophetic dreams, and once you started listening to these dreams, things started to turn around for you. What is true about that statement? Or maybe I'm completely nuts in what I heard. What does that mean?
I think I have a really, really, really strong intuition, and I've been gifted with being able to hear that. And I'm not the only artist, I think, that's written songs from their dreams. I'm pretty sure Paul McCartney talked a lot about how his songs come from his dreams. And I don't know if this happens to many other people, but I sometimes will dream things and then word for word or scene for scene, they'll happen weeks later. And it's a really weird feeling. And at first I was just like, it's deja vu. Like, that's crazy. But once I actually started listening to the things that my subconscious was telling me, life started to really turn around for me. Because I think dreams are very interesting when you're asleep and your ego, which usually takes over your mind during the day, is set aside. Your subconscious just tells you all these interesting things that you actually are feeling deep down. And our dreams most oftentimes than not have a really incredible symbolism. And I've been interested in the psychology of dreams forever. So sorry if I'm babbling.
No, God, no. When you wake up, do you make little notes? Because I forget stuff at times.
Yeah, I keep a dream journal, and I'm just like everybody else. I forget them half the time too. But when they do stick with me, that's when I'm like, okay, I'm going to write this one down because I might be able to learn from it.
I'm going to start doing that too. I'm going to just keep a little notepad. Although some things I don't want to remember. Some of them dreams are crazy.
No, I know.
Oh Lord! All right, we all make mistakes on stage, but I find this question particularly just funny. I've heard some crazy stories. Have you ever made a noticeable onstage mistake?
No.
Whoa.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. When I was in high school, I was in show choir and musical theater, and I was in choir in middle school, and I've performed on stage for the longest time. And one of the biggest things that my director drilled in our heads was that if you make a mistake, you just recover from it. You don't do it visibly on your face. You don't show the audience that you made a mistake. It's when you actually show the audience that you've messed up, that's when you mess up. So
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, if you make a little mistake, just make sure that the next note is better, or make sure that the next move captures their attention, or that you do something cool, or you just pick it up and you keep moving. You don't act like you've made a mistake, because that's when people notice. So I've made many mistakes on stage, but nobody has noticed them. And that's when they notice them, when you make it so that it's noticeable, that's when you've made a mistake.
I had an artist named Duncan Lawrence tell me that he fell off stage and the microphone jammed in his throat.
Oh, nothing like that. That's a horror story. That's a horror story. God. For me, it's just like if I went flat, or maybe I tripped a little bit, or something like that. But,
got it. Yeah. So
luckily
that's never happened. Yeah,
that's not happened yet.
Oh my God. Can you imagine that? A mic in your throat? You're like, ah.
But you know what? If I'm about to go on tour, I'm sure something is bound to happen.
Who cares?
Nobody's perfect. It's gonna happen.
You may not know this about me, I am obsessed with the paranormal. Ghost, UFOs, everything in between. I've got a podcast called Paranormalish. I'm clearly off the deep end. You've had, we were talking off air, you've had a bit of a paranormal encounter when you were a little kid, I think you said, right?
Yeah, so when I was a little kid, apparently I used to see interesting little apparitions. These are just stories that my parents have told me. I don't remember them because I was little.
Right.
But, most people say that little kids are the most connected to that. They're the closest to that world. And then as you get older, you stop paying attention and you stop experiencing things like that. But one story that has really stuck with me to this day, personally, I think it was my grandma. But so we lived in Redondo Beach when I was little, and we would go for walks around the block sometimes, like around sunset, just little family walks. And there was this one random driveway that I was always stopping in front of, and I would stand there in the middle of the driveway and look down it and just smile and wave. And obviously there was no one there, but I would smile and wave, and I would do that every single time that we would walk by that specific house. I would just stand in the driveway and wave as if I was saying hi to somebody I knew. And my parents were just like, who are you waving to? And I always said, the lady in the purple dress, the nice lady in the purple dress. And it freaked my parents out, obviously, because
there's no lady in the purple dress.
No lady in the purple dress. But as we got older, my dad theorized that it was his mom, my grandma, because her favorite color was purple. And she only got to hold me one time before she passed away. So I think we just kind of like to think it was my grandma saying hi to me.
Now, why in that driveway? Did she have any tie to that house?
No, not at all. I have no idea. I don't know why it was that specific house. Maybe it was really just somebody who lived there. Maybe I was just a kid with a wild imagination.
Who knows? Emmy, you said you write your best when you're not trying. Now, you've got this track called I Am Woman. How do you write? I mean, we were talking once again off the air. How do you write something else? How do you write anything? How do you try to write it without trying? It seems such a.
I think when you're not trying too hard, the most genuine stuff comes out.
How do you not try?
When you really just, I don't know. For me, like I was saying earlier, I don't know if a lot of artists feel this way, but for me, it sometimes feels like the music just takes over and pushes out the things that were already inside me. And it just lets the words flow out the way they want to. And there it is. Some people, my friends, my family will ask me, how do you write that? How do you write like that? How do you come up with that? And sometimes I feel like I don't come up with it. The music comes up with it. I just am like a vessel for the story, and the music uses it to flow through.
I think Michael Jackson said something like that. He said it just comes from above. I forget how something like that.
Sometimes feels like some being just like puts their hand on my head and is like, say this. I don't know. It just comes out, especially when you're not trying. Because when you're sitting there trying really hard to write a good song, you're way too in your head about it. And it's not going to come off super genuine, you know?
So with that thought in mind, if a song takes too long, do you just shelf it or just trash it and move on to something else?
No, I'm a big hand writer, so I keep books. Like I carry journals with me. My friends tease me because we'll be at restaurants sometimes and something will come to me and I'll write it in there. Like a weirdo. And some of the first things that people, like when I met people at music school, one of the first things I noticed about me was that I wasn't paying attention in class. I was busy, like just scribbling in my notebook the whole class for like an hour. And half of it was garbage. Seriously, like half of it was not good, but
still
you go, A, it's practice, and B, sometimes you can go back and just, it's interesting to flip through your thoughts, you know? And sometimes you're like, wait, all of this sucks, but that line is really good. And then you can take that and piece it into something else.
Gotta love that. Something about writing stuff down too, like physically writing it, you know? I don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been starstruck? You've lived in LA or the LA area for quite a while, starting to work your way through the music industry. Have you met someone where you're like, oh my God, that is so-and-so?
Honestly, yeah. So funny story. I used to work at this coffee shop on Sunset Boulevard called Rubies and Diamonds. That was one of my jobs. I loved my coworkers there. I also just loved making coffee because I'm a coffee snob. And I enjoyed being a barista. And one day, Joe Jonas just walks into my coffee shop and I'm the only one working. So he's perusing, he's looking around, and I'm standing there like, oh my God, that's Joe Jonas. That's literally Joe Jonas. I used to have this poster on my wall when I was a kid. That's literally Joe Jonas. So he comes up, he orders his coffee. He's super nice. He tipped. He was really, really cool. And then the name of the coffee shop is Rubies and Diamonds, and the slogan is not a jewelry store. Like it's just like their catchy little slogan.
Right.
And he pointed out and he was like, "Haha, that's funny. Do people think it's a jewelry store sometimes?" And I was like, sometimes. I just made sure that his coffee was really good. And then when I was at Jingle Ball in New York, the Joe Bros were performing and I walked by them just as they were like, you know, getting ready to go on stage. And I wasn't starstruck then or really anymore, but it was just a full circle moment for me because I was like, how funny is it that 2 years ago I was making coffee for Joe Jonas and now I'm at Jingle Ball with Joe Jonas.
What a cool story.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
That is just, things change quick.
Yeah.
In a good way.
In a couple of years. And he was the nicest guy. So
He's super nice.
Yeah.
Do you recall what kind of coffee you made him?
Pretty sure it was an oat milk cortado.
Oh, what?
An oat milk cortado.
Okay.
I think.
All right. Joe, big shout to Joe. What's up? Hope you enjoyed your coffee.
I hope so.
Early in your career, but up to this point, your family, your friends, I mean, that inner circle you got, which will be with you forever. What's their reaction to all this stuff going on?
They are so elated because they've believed in me from the very start and they've supported me from the very start when I was just building things from the ground up. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just throwing myself into this because it was my passion and I knew that I had to make it happen. And they've come to every single one of my little rinky-dink shows, like at these random bars. Even on Halloween, they came to my Halloween show and they dressed up. Like, they've just been there for every single moment. My parents came to my show at the Whiskey A Go-Go. My mom has helped me pay for studio time whenever I was running short on rent and like, covering bills. Like, they've just been so supportive from the very beginning. And they all feel like it's their like little accomplishment too, because they get to watch like this incredible rise happen and watch my dreams come true. And they've been there from the start. So they're really excited for me.
What a rush. Well, and what's your reaction to this? I mean,
I'm still processing it. I especially because in the flurry of things, it's kind of just go, 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 go. Like, I had to just get the song out, get it done. And I've been building, most artists build teams over the course of years, but I've been building this entire team in the course of like a month. So, and on top of finishing the song and working on other music. And there's also a second version to I Am Woman. It's almost like kind of a little remix that we're still kind of deciding what we want to do with. So it was just a flurry of emotions. Me and my manager were like, oh my God, this is happening. It's go time. And I'm just kind of starting to get to sit with myself and take some deep breaths and be like, whoa, I created this. This is actually happening. And when I was at Jingle Ball in New York, walking that red carpet, I think that was one of the moments that it kind of set in. I was like, I'm here. This is happening. It's not a dream. I didn't make it up in my head. Like, this is actually happening to me.
What a rush. Of course, quick recap, I Am Woman, it is out. Get on this track. The album or EP, I believe you said, on the way, tour on the way. What am I forgetting to ask? You made coffee for Joe Jonas, you know?
I did. And Leon Bridges.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes. Funny story about Leon Bridges. Me and my friend group have ran into him all throughout LA over the past 2 years. And then we ran into him in New York while we were there these past few days. And my friend who really loves him was like, today's the day. I'm finally going to talk to him. I've ran into him too many times to not just introduce myself and say hi. And he recognized her and they had a great conversation.
No, he must think, he probably thought like, are they stalking me or what's going on here?
No, he was like, I've seen you before. I made his coffee too. He got a really strong coffee.
No, God, what a crazy, your life has gone from zero to, well, not zero, but like
I went from
0 to 100.
Yes, quite literally 0 to 100.
Wow.
Yeah.
Emmy, congrats on everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
Once again, that's Emmy Meli. I Am Woman. Get on this track once again. Emmy, at the end of every interview, fist bump to make it official.
Fist bump.
Bye-yam!